The next thing that I want to look at when we look at securing your website is the use of your passwords. Of course, every time you log into the back end of your site, going through your admin area, you need to use a password. Now, you need to ensure that your passwords are unique. So, for example, I especially discourage you from using the same password that you use for your WordPress login to be the same password that you use for your hosting account, the same password that you use for email. Because let's face it, the reality is that we don't like to have to remember a million different passwords. It's very difficult. We choose passwords for things that are easy to remember. And so we tend to reuse these passwords. But the reality is that if someone finds out the password for your email and you use one password for all your logins, then what will happen is that now they have access to your email, they have access to your site, they have access to your hosting, and that creates a lot of issues. So we really have to, of course, avoid using the same password for multiple logins. And also you have to ensure that you use unique and difficult passwords that are easy to guess. So you want to avoid using passwords like the name of your dog, or your middle name, or your street address, or your children's birth date, things like that. You really need to avoid using passwords like that, because those are easy to guess, and hackers will. You have to understand that security does start with you, and you have to be responsible for your passwords, and you have to also be careful about who you share your passwords with. And another thing is that you should update your passwords, change them fairly regularly, every 3 months or something like that. And I know you must be saying to yourself, how can I possibly, remember all these passwords and create unique passwords, without writing them down, and now I have the issue where I've written down the passwords, and if somebody gets to that, bit of paper or spreadsheet, wherever you've gotten the passwords recorded, then now they have access to all your information. Well, one solution that I personally use is called LastPass, and you may have seen me using it throughout this video course, where it installs right inside your browser, and it's compatible with most of the major browsers. I'm using Google Chrome, and I have it installed now, and basically what it does is that once you have an account, and it's free to use, there is a premium version, but chances are you may not need to use it. But there are some great additional features, and I'm not making any money by recommending this. It's just something I use for myself, and what essentially happens is that each time you log in, and you may be familiar with this because most browsers will try to do this, where once you log in to your email or any other site that requires a username and a password, then your browser will ask you to save this information. I don't recommend at all that you use your browsers, because there are a lot of, apart from the individual conditionalities of using different browsers and their terms and all that stuff, the reality is that if you go to a computer that is not yours, then you don't have access to all these passwords. And the great thing about LastPass is that you can easily install it and uninstall it, from to any browser, and you can set up security and fail-safe, so that once you log in, so for example, if you were to use a friend's computer and forget to log out, you can set it up that once you log in to your computer, then the previous access will be logged out. So things like that. So like I said, it is free. It's a wonderful tool, and as you can see here, if you look at this login screen, you see a number 2 here. So I have 2 logins for this particular for this particular site. So if I just click on the symbol there, then I can easily just select the user that I want to use, and it will enter the username and password, and I can just log in. So I never have to enter a password, and this is particularly useful if you're logging in outside of your home, which I really don't recommend. Let me just log back out. I really don't recommend that you use free Wi-Fi to log into important areas like your website. You know, it is prone, you don't know who else is on the network, you're prone to being hijacked. You know, persons could be just looking over your shoulder, looking at your passwords. A great thing about this is that you don't have to type in the password. The only password you have to remember is the last password. So you just have to remember one very secure password, and LastPass will do the rest. And it also has a lot of other great features, such as it can store other information that you may need to fill out forms. So if you sign up for a lot of stuff online, you know, it's great for that. So I do recommend it. And like I said, it's free. And there's a premium version, and one of the features of the premium version is that if you have outsourcers and you need them to work on your site, then you don't have to give them the password to your site. You can set them up as a user, share the password, they'll be able to log in using the LastPass, but not actually have to get the password. And then of course it's very easy to just change your passwords afterwards anyway. And another great thing that LastPass does is it generates secure passwords. So you never need to use a password like your dog's name or your children's birth dates. You know, it's just really secure password. So I really recommend that you check that tool out.